Welcome to the 4-part series on how to prepare for 2024 and master the Great Reset with Master Your Reality. I'm your host, Trevor, and I've created these slides to give a basically crash course on what's going on in the economy and what will all this chaos inevitably turn into based on my personal research. So yeah. I'm super excited to share this with you all. This is something I've been working on for a long time, and I think it'll help a lot of people find clarity and be able to take action in these uncertain times. So let's get into it. All right, so this is part one. This is just a basic general overview of my overall thesis. So just a quick disclaimer. Nothing in this presentation is to be taken as financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This content is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research and come to your own conclusions. Be the master of your reality. Also, I'm a dedicated researcher, always seeking the truth to understand and prepare for the future. I value accuracy over allegiance to any theory, and would much rather be proven wrong and adapt my beliefs when evidence supports it. Alright, now that that's out of the way, here's just a basic overview of what this series will entail. Part one, this is the big picture. Again, just a general overview of my thesis. Part two, next video, will be the bigger picture, which is where we talk about big macro cycles, universal cycles, bring in the Hermetic principles, to get a deeper understanding of what's going on. Part three is the new financial system. We're going to deep dive into what is money and introduce you to blockchain technology and XRP. Part four is the timeline, how I think this is all going to kind of play out. Taking action, you're going to get to see my plan, what I'm doing during these times. And I'm going to give you some tools for you to be well on your journey of mastering your wealth in these uncertain economic times. All right, so what is happening? Well, the so-called Great Reset. It's really just a natural shifting in the global balance of power. As you know, all things have their rhythm, the pendulum swing, and you know, the only thing that's constant is change, and we're living through a period of great change in this world. For some, this will be the greatest financial opportunity ever. For others, it will be the most uncertain and potentially hardest economic times ever. Out with the old, in with the older made new. And we'll talk about what I mean by that in just a second. So basically, we are currently in the planned organic transition from an outdated and corrupt financial system that is based on debt to an innovative and transparent financial system that is based on real wealth. This new system will be a combination of real physical commodity assets tokenized upon the Internet of Value, which is enabled by DLT. Which stands for Distributed Ledger Technology, aka blockchain, aka cryptocurrency. In this presentation, I will back up what I say with facts, and I encourage you to verify everything I say for yourself. If there's something I say you are uncertain about, go and do research on it. Okay, so what is the current, which is the old financial system? Well, it is fake money, right? It's the fiat currency. Fiat literally means fake. It's debt-based fiat currency, which has no tangible value other than the paper that the money's printed with. But most money is now digital, so you know it's really just fairy dust. It's just pixie dust. All right, it's built on trust. All right, people trust that banks actually have their money and that the Federal Reserve is being responsible with the monetary policy. False belief. It is built upon belief, and well, I think that belief is false. Banks, in fact, do not have your money, and the Fed is not being responsible with it, obviously, if you look at the debt clock. There's a time delay, all right? Things are not instant in this financial system. The transfer of value on a global scale is an illusion. It's not instantaneous. It's an illusion because they're not actually sending the value in most instances. It's more of just editing of ledgers and numbers on, screens, just inputting one input, changing, adding a couple zeros here and removing a couple zeros there. It's not the transfer of value is just an illusion. It's all just numbers on a screen. Okay, so the older financial system made new is what I believe we are transitioning into. Okay, and it is essentially real money combined with this new technology that allows for the best form of money, in my opinion. It is real money, right? It is physical commodities like gold and silver. Old. This has been money for thousands of years. These things have been considered money and have held their value for the most part. Using cryptographically secure distributed ledger technology, otherwise known as DLT, to transact that value. This is where the made new part comes in, right? We're taking the old, combining it with the new for this, giving birth to this brand new form of money, this brand new monetary system. It is trustless, all right? DLT, or blockchain technology, allows for trustless transactions between parties. That means I don't have to trust you. If we do a transaction, I don't have to trust you that you're gonna send me the money. Like I'm not gonna wait for the money to come. I'm not gonna trust that you're actually gonna send the money in the mail or trust that the money's real. It's on the blockchain and that executes automatically. So it is trustless. All right, knowing. All right, DLT allows for a secure self-accounting and public ledger. This is huge. Before there'd be multiple ledgers and maybe a third party to make sure that they were all matching. Now there'll be one ledger, well, per blockchain obviously, but it will be self-accounting. There will be no need to verify the authenticity of the ledger, since it will be self-accounting. All right, instant. Now there's an asterisk there. DLT allows for the transfer of real value over the internet in seconds rather than days. And the asterisk is there because settlement time depends on what blockchain is being used. This is huge. So, some like Bitcoin can take hours to days to do one transaction, which is not much better than the current system we have, which is like 3 to 5 days. So as compared with something like XRP, let's say, you can do transactions in about 4 seconds. That is huge. Getting a phone call. Hello?
Hi, Trevor. How's your day going?
Hello, who is this?
Yes, this is Manisha. I'm with Discount Auto Insurance Quote on a recorded line.
Boop. Boop, boop, boop. All right, moving on. So, let's pause for a moment and review some critical facts that I want y'all to be very familiar with. So the first one being the money supply. All right, this is from the Federal Reserve website. The M1 money supply is basically most of the money that the Fed prints. It's basically most of the money supply. And as you can see in this chart here, 2020 had a massive jump in supply. This was the money printing that was caused by the C word. And basically our entire economy right now is kept afloat on stilts by this injection of liquidity. And every time the Fed prints a shit ton of money, for lack of better words, right, the value of the US dollar goes down, right? As supply increases, the demand for that thing decreases. So this is our next fact too. The US dollar value All right, since 1971, when the dollar was taken off of the gold standard and made a fiat currency, you can see the price has just, or the value of the dollar has just gone down significantly. I think since its creation in like 1913 or whatever, the dollar has lost like 98% of its value. The effects of this, right, have not entirely been felt yet because this was such a dramatic injection of liquidity. We haven't really even felt the effects of this money printing on the prices of goods yet. We're starting to, but it hasn't had full effect yet because it was instant. It just went, it was just an injection. And the prices of everything didn't instantly change by that amount. So this is definitely a lagging indicator. Now, this chart is really interesting because it ends at 2018, right? So it doesn't even take into account that. So as you can see, it's been going down, right? Because the U.S. has been doing quantitative tightening, right? They've been tightening the money supply, and this is why we've had this downtrend in the markets. When they turn the money printer on right after C word pandemic, the markets took off, right? We went on a bull run. In crypto especially, and in stocks. But once they started this quantitative tightening, we've been in this little bear market here. The Fed will have to turn the money printer back on if they don't want essentially a full-on liquidity lockup and collapse of the system. They will have to keep injecting money into the system to keep it going. That's how this thing works. It's essentially a Ponzi scheme. But and as they continue to inject money, print money out of thin air, the purchasing power of the U.S. dollar will continue to depreciate even further until it's essentially a worthless currency. That's one possible scenario. All right, so let's move on here. This is a huge fact right here. Banks, 0% reserve requirement. So on March 15th, 2020, right? That was right after the big announcement, right? They had everyone looking at this thing, right? Ah! And then over here, no one was paying attention. They lowered the reserve requirement in banks from I think it was 10% to 0%. All right? The minimum reserve requirement is the amount of money that your bank is required to keep of your money, right? They don't have most of your money, right? They take it and they lend it out and they make money off of it. That's what banks do. That's how they make money. But in 2020, when they had everyone looking this way, distracted, all right, they changed the policy to 0%. So that means that the banks are required to hold 0% of your money. So the bank doesn't have your money. They lent it out to someone else to make money off of it. This is like their last hurrah before the whole system comes crashing down. That's how I see this. They realize that they're coming to the end of the line, so they said, "Hey guys, let's just let's have a party. Let's get crazy, and let's put all the cash out there to trade with it. They trade it in the markets, and let's try to make as much money as possible for ourselves before this whole system comes crashing down." All right. Fact number 4. Money is already digital. All right. Now this is for the UK, but it's very similar numbers. It's less than 10% of money in the US is held in physical form and cash. All right. So most money is already digital. It's just ones and zeros. All right. It's not real. It's just data on computer servers. Now, the problem with that system, I mean, it's okay. It's working, right? For now. But the problem with that is that the servers that data is on are centralized. So if those servers get hacked or go down from grid blackout or whatever, they're also risk of getting hacked. So this is where the security of blockchain technology comes in by keeping that data distributed distributed on decentralized servers all over the world, you'd have to hack thousands, hundreds of computers to bring down the whole network, which is impossible. Okay? So, but my bank account shows my money is there. Yeah, you mean those ones and zeros on a centralized server? Yeah, those are there for now. You know, they're there for now until the inevitable cyber attack or whatever.
Of a comprehensive cyber attack.
Cyber, you know, P word. I'll just put the clip of the main man in there. But you know, money already being digital just makes it that much easier to transition to a blockchain-based system. All right. So what does this matter for you, right? You might be saying, "Oh, you know, I don't want to worry about this." Well, here's why. Those who take advantage of it will be greatly financially better off. Greatly financially? I don't know. Better off than those who don't. And the world that we're moving into seems like to me that money will become freedom, as it already is today. However, I believe that the freedom aspect of money being able to buy you freedom of choice, of quality, essentially will become dramatically more visible. The wealth gap in the world will increase, I believe, in the medium term, next 50 years at least, I'd say. And those who don't have money will be subject to whatever the handout is, per se. I would much rather be able to have enough money to purchase quality of life, essentially, and freedom as well. Freedom to travel, to go places. So, right, this is an opportunity to create wealth for ourselves. More millionaires are made in recessions and depressions and times of crisis than any other time. And this is the mother of all transitions, all crises that we are living through right now. So, there's never been an easier time to take advantage of a financial paradigm shift than in the information age, where we are in right now. Never before have you had access to all the data that we do today, right? There's hundreds of and thousands of YouTubers out there that are like me, that are explaining this to you, trying to help y'all, that are, you know, presenting the information in a variety of different ways, you know, but data is more available than ever before, and it's never been easier for one to access that data and then also educate themselves on, you know, what's going on. And that's another thing, like the information age, which we're in right now, which was birthed out of the internet of information, that has essentially not leveled the playing field, but made the playing field much more level on terms of information. If you're willing to access it, if you're willing to search for it, I believe that eventually the internet of value, which is what is being built right now, eventually that will do a similar thing for wealth, for money, right? If you're willing to put in the work and to create that value for yourself, it will be so much more easier for you to do that if you want to, right? The information age leveled the playing field for information. The internet of value, I believe, will not level the playing field, but greatly lower the barrier of entry to wealth. Yes, it is possible for you to own nothing and be happy, right? But at a very early point, your choices will be limited. That's what I was saying with the first point. No matter your financial standings, you are limited. You're always going to be limited at a certain point, right? And I want that limit to be as high as possible for you and for me in this new world that we're moving into. All right, so what will occur? All right, all theories aside about possible events to come in the next few years, one thing that is inevitable is the continued collapse in value, not completely, like dollar's not going to go away, but the collapse in value and its status as the world's reserve currency. As this collapse increases, people will look for safe havens and find it in cryptocurrency and commodities mainly gold and silver. Okay. More and more countries will issue central bank digital currencies. Currently 11 are already live and 99 in development. I think the US will be one of the last current countries to issue a US dollar central bank digital currency, but I also think it's possible before that we see individual states issue their own commodity-backed CBDC, which will only accelerate the collapse of the dollar. And we're already seeing Texas draft, or I guess propose legislation to create a gold-backed CBDC, gold-backed digital currency. I guess it's not a CBDC, but it is a gold-backed digital currency in Texas. So that's interesting. All right. So also, so as this happens, right, as the realization is made that this is happening, a tsunami of money will move from value in banks, right, every individual citizens' bank accounts, to value on blockchains. Okay. Right, these CBDCs, if they're not private, right, because the people aren't going to want to use private Fed coin or whatever, it's going to move. Those CBDCs will be built on public blockchains. Okay, and this, as this happens, and as that money moves out of the banks onto these CBDC value on blockchains, this will give birth to the new financial system, during which time many banks will collapse and be bought up by bigger banks, and banks will simply transition into like money service providers for those not crypto savvy enough, which is most people. So also, the fastest, most cost-effective, and most user-friendly blockchains will become the most widely adopted. I don't think it's just going to be one, that rules the entire. I don't think there's going to be one blockchain that rules the entire financial system. I think it will be many different blockchains working together, some being used for different things, but some will be used more than others. And right, if you think about it, only one will be able to have the majority of users, right? The majority of value will inevitably be on one blockchain, but it will exist with many other blockchains that will also have significant amounts of value. Okay, this is where the opportunity lies, right? Accumulating the digital assets that will make up the infrastructure of the inevitable new financial system before the majority of value is on it, right? And the majority of value is not on it right now, okay? It's still in the old system. So my thesis, this is compressed everything we've talked about so far. This is my thesis on that. Let me get a sip of coffee real quick. Okay. The organically orchestrated collapse of the current. I say organically orchestrated because we don't really know if this is, or I don't really know if this is all like orchestrated, like planned out, or if this is just happening naturally and it seems that way. I think either are possible, and it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. What matters is that it's happening and what to do about it. So the organically orchestrated collapse of the current debt-based financial system is currently underway, and the replacement system is currently being built out right now, tested and slowly adopted. As awareness of the critical situation of the old system increases, more and more money will leave it in search of a safe haven, I guess, which will be found in select cryptocurrencies, right, that will be the backbone of this new financial system, and tangible commodities, which will be what stabilizes the new system, potentially. As time goes on and awareness increases, the flow and rapidity of this value out of the old system and into the new system will increase exponentially, similar to an S-curve, right? So you have, slow progress, and then it starts to increase, and then boom, exponential increase, and then it kind of tapers off, which is what this is. Blockchain tech adoption as the global financial system. Right, the train, you are right here at the acceleration phase, nearing the hyper growth phase, and the train has left the station. All right, this is a Rosie Rios quote, the 43rd treasurer of the U.S. who joined the board of Ripple. She's famously quoted for saying the train has left the station.
And for those of you who don't know, the next gen $100 note is the last denomination of that particular family of notes. We're working on the future generation of currency, so that is my other job.
I think the train's already left the station in terms of cryptocurrency. You may or may not know that I just joined the board of Ripple, and the reason why I chose to join that board, it's, in my opinion, one of the few cryptocurrency options out there that has a credible and legitimate use. So financial institutions use it to settle cross-border payments.
If you're only thinking about it now, you're behind the 8 ball. The train has left the station.
And it has, right? This is inevitable. This train, this new financial system train, which is blockchain technology, is inevitable, and you're either on board it or you're not. And we are nearing the hyper growth phase, in my opinion. So, my thesis continued. Currently, there are more than 1.8 million cryptocurrencies according to CoinMarketCap.com. I don't know when this got changed to 1.8 million. It used to be like 50-something thousand. Now it's 1.8 million. I don't know how valid that is. Probably the real number is more like around 20 to 30,000, I'd say. CoinGecko only has like 10,000. Excuse me. CoinMarketCap says 1.8 million. 99% of these currencies will end up worthless. They'll go to zero, they'll go away. The select few will dramatically increase in value because they will be chosen to run the new financial system. They will be the ones that get the value out of the old system. Okay. Additionally, out of the cryptos that are chosen to be used in the new financial system, there will only be one that gets the majority of global value, right? I'm not saying there's only going to be one and none other ones get any of the value. What I'm saying is that they're not all going to get the same amount of value, right? There's going to be one that gets the most. All right? So, in part 3, I will explain why I believe XRP is that blockchain that gets the most. And more. All right? We live in the most transformative time in human history and the greatest time to be an investor, truly. As with all things in life, remember who you are and have fun and learn as you go. In this 4-part presentation, I will break down and explain the ideas discussed in this slideshow in greater detail and give you the solutions to prepare for 2024, as well as not only survive but thrive in the Great Reset. Thank you for watching this part 1. Hope you got a good summary of my overall thesis, and stay tuned for part 2, the super macro 2,000 year cycle, a new age we're moving into. That one will be very interesting. Much love. So leave a like on the video if you appreciate this content, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.